Been what? Already with him? I felt sick, and my eyes felt unusually hot and prickly. Someone clapped me on the back, and I looked over to see Nigel grinning at me. JT and Nance finally got together at Tegan's. Pretty great, huh, Hole? He asked, clapped me on the back again, and walked off with a huge grin. Tegan's party. The party we'd boycotted on Saturday night because Tegan was one of the beaus and we hated them. Or at least I thought we hated them, and I thought we'd boycotted her party. Apparently I'd been the only one sitting at home on a Saturday night crying at bad rom-com movies in my pajamas and stuffing myself with chocolate. I dragged my eyes back to Jason and Nancy and found them looking at me like the school hallway was the last place they'd ever have expected to see me. Like we didn't meet at Jason's locker every morning and had been meeting at Jason's locker every morning since the 3rd week of year 8. Concern flooded Jason's deep sapphire eyes, but it was Nancy's reaction that really hit home. The expression on her face said more to me than words ever could. The conniving weasel knew how I felt about him. She'd known all these years how I felt about him. It had never been lost on us that a guy with 2 female best friends could cause some issues as we grew up. That was the whole reason Nancy and I had always been honest about him. We had a pact that we'd always tell each other if we started or stopped crushing on him. Or in my case, fell totally, completely, and irrevocably in love with him and wouldn't stop even when I was stone cold dead. Nancy had crushed on him plenty over the years, and we'd always laughed about it. Each time I'd reassured her that he wasn't mine, and if she really liked him and he liked her, I'd step back. And I'd meant it. At least I'd wanted to mean it. But she then always assured me that Jason wasn't her type, particularly when her type was secretly the king of the beaus and all-around dropkick. Hot, yes, but asshole extraordinaire, and that she wouldn't get in my way. And then she'd spend all of the day before texting me back and forth about me talking to him about how I felt. So with all this in mind, it was a bit of an understatement to say seeing them and their unexpected PDA was a bit of a surprise. I just couldn't comprehend such betrayal. I'd been blindsided. I felt like I'd been kicked in the gut, and it hurt worse than those period cramps when it feels like alien is trying to rip its way out of your uterus. I blinked and realized my eyes were tearing up. So yay, betrayal with a healthy sprinkling of humiliation threatening as well. Just what I needed on a Monday morning after 3 cups of coffee. Jason took a step forwards as he ignored the person who called out hello to him, but I turned and pushed my way through the throng of kids. I could only hope I'd find somewhere quiet before my eyes decided to join in on the betrayal and embarrass me in front of a whole school full of merciless teenagers. Thankfully, most of those merciless teenagers were making for their first lessons, so the hallways were emptying aggravatingly slowly. I had no idea where I thought I was going or what I planned to do once I got there. But where I found myself was not what I'd been expecting, even considering I wasn't thinking straight. I pushed open a door, turned a corner, and my hands ran smack into a naked chest, along with my face. I pulled my face off the naked chest and looked around, realizing I'd somehow found myself in the boys' locker room. Thank God it seemed like this half-naked body was the only other body in there. Of all the girls I expected to see and hear, you were not on the list. A very recognizable voice said, and I looked up to find the dark brown hair and pale cognac-colored eyes belonging to the king of the beaus himself. But the cocky smirk turned to a frown as he searched my face. What's wrong? I blinked, and a tear actually had the audacity to run down my face. I sniffed, looked up at the ceiling, and tried surreptitiously to wipe under my eye. Nothing's wrong. Why would anything be wrong? The smirk was back. He's certainly not the first girl brought to tears by my body.